Hey everyone, we're here with another video, and today we're talking about the IGPSPORT IGS630. And this is a bike computer that is under the $200 range, and it has a 2.8 inch screen. So I want to just get down and dirty with this. We'll get to the pros and cons and what I think about this product. So first off, the form factor. It's 2.8 inches, which is nice. Obviously that's here to here. And the screen is bright and good to view. It has an ambient sensor right up here. And overall, this cost $172 on Amazon with tax. So a few things that I like about it. So it is and does have accurate tracking. So it has all the satellites you need. It doesn't dual frequency, but it does really good with the GPS tracks. Another thing that's really good with it is that starting up, it's really quick. So after the start menu here, now we're just clicking the on button here to start, and then you're good to go. Just need the GPS track, which it shows you up in the top left corner here. So yeah, once that gets going, then you can start your GPS track.
IGS630, Wahoo Bolt V2, and the Brighton 750 SE. So just a startup challenge. Definitely think the IG630 wins. Brighton 750 SE is seconds, and then Wahoo is dead last.
It also allows you to, when you start moving, it detects you moving and it asks you if you want to start as well. So that's something that's really nice. If you forget, it'll give you a notification that, hey, we detected you moving, and you should start tracking your workout now. One of the reasons that I actually found out about this brand was that within the Insta360 app, I saw that they had native integration with IGPSPORT. So I was like, what is IGPSPORT? So I looked it up, saw some budget bike computers, some not so budget bike computers, but in general, it seems like these are pretty decent if you want something under $200. There's a plethora of different options that you actually have for this. So, if you want something that's less like not colored screen, different things like that, you can actually find something that is like that. If you just want power, you want speed, you want average speed, you want heart rate, that sort of thing, you don't want actual GPS tracks, then you can do that. An additional thing that I like is in the top left-hand corner, you can actually see when you have a GPS track route uploaded, you can actually see how much left you have on the route. I haven't really seen this with other bike computers, but that's something that's really nice that I like. Additionally, with those GPS tracks, it's really easy to upload to your bike computer. It just syncs up, you find or you create a GPS track, you can have it on your phone, and then basically you can upload it or share it with your phone and then just share it with the actual app, and then it'll sync over to the bike computer. So that's something nice that you can just do that's on demand. I think previously when I've done this with Garmin, you kind of have to sync it and then send it to the device. It's better now, but for this one, it's pretty straightforward and simple, so I like that. So something that is, I guess, kind of good is that you can see in the GPS map here that you can see an actual street name. Now, it doesn't actually do this for every distance that you're at, so I'm not sure if you can see, if I'm zoomed all the way in at 164 feet, I don't actually see the street names. But if I zoom out just a little bit more, then I start to see more things. So sometimes I can see it, but sometimes I don't. So I'm not entirely sure why it shows this and why it doesn't. The maps are all loaded up, so it should be loading any street maps or anything like that. Also, buttons, you can hear that I'm clicking on the buttons. So it has 6 total buttons. So there's one up here to power it on and go back. This one is to confirm, and these two are to go up and down. And then this one here at the bottom, these two, this one's to start and this one's to lap. So That's all of the buttons on the IGS630. The reason why I like that is because I hate touchscreens. I really just don't like when I'm riding on a bike and it's bumpy, like I don't trust myself, touching things or confirming or, even saving the map, especially if there's like, rain or I'm sweating on it, different things like that. So buttons are amazing to have in this regard here. So additionally, on the back here, there is USB-C. I'm not going to give praise for this anymore because most of these should have USB-C, but additionally here is the Garmin mount. Why is this important? So if you have any Garmin types of mounts, out front mounts and what have you, it just clicks in for that one. So I wish it was a universal thing. I wish all bike computers had this, but I have to give it props for using a Garmin mount and not its own proprietary mounts. In the box, it does have a few things. So it has a USB-C charger, it has a lanyard that can hook onto this here, and that is all nice, and it also has a Garmin mount that you can hang onto the stem. Now the issue is that there is no out front mount that you can put on your bike. It only goes on your stem, or also it can go on your handlebars. So I kind of wish that it had that with the price, but it doesn't. But this again is supposed to be budget. Again, $172 with tax. So it's a pretty good price for the large screen and the GPS tracks. But let's go into the cons of this because they're not all pros. So one of the things that it says on here, actually on the back, is it says that it has 35 hours of battery life. Now, I wish it would specify that it was up to 35 hours. With my test case, I got 11 to 12 hours, and that's because most of the time this backlight is on. So you can turn that off, change that, but this is a glossy screen, so it's not the easiest to see. So with my testing, it was 11 to 12 hours, but very easy to see when the backlight is on, so just make sure you have those settings on. So there is another bad thing here. There's no climb function, so Garmin, Hammerhead, and Wahoo have this climb function or this summit function. This, even with the maps loaded or coming to a climb, what have you, it does not show you any notification of that.
Looks like we're already starting it, so see, you can see the climb. I think this is one of the nice features. Only the Bolt V2 is showing me anything here.
You can switch to the page that actually has some of the elevation, so you can see the grade percentage, you can see the climb and all this other things, but it's not super accurate, and I wish it was better and had that type of feature. It does have the GPS tracks here, so I'm able to upload a route and it's able to find that and show me where I'm supposed to go. And it does do well with giving you notifications, but it tells you too many like fake turns that it's not actually a turn. Additionally, I mentioned before, it doesn't actually tell you the street names that you're supposed to turn at, which is really, really nice to have nowadays, but it just tells you the amount of feet until your next turn and which direction. Additionally, it shows you like on the top corner of the screen here, so you'll see it like show up at the top here, and it just plops itself over the actual screen. It's not super great. It only works or is really well visible when you have it in light mode versus dark mode here. You wouldn't be able to see it as well. So it doesn't like, so what I've seen in this, in two other of the bike computers that I've been testing, with the Garmin 130 and then with the Brighton 750 SE and the Wahoo Bolt V2, it sort of shows you a notification and it pushes the information down and up. This one just plops it in front of this, which is super annoying. So there are other bike computers out here that do this better. Also, what I noticed is that randomly when I'd be using this, it would just randomly, like I would make a turn and then sometimes it would say, oh, well, you have 8 miles to go instead of 17 miles to go, because it thought I like flipped around and turned around. So it's not that great at recognizing when I've actually just made a proper turn, and sometimes it thinks that I made a turn around, which is kind of annoying. So zoom out button. So The Brighton that I've been testing, the 750 SE, as well as the Wahoo Bolt V2 that I've been testing, have a button that can zoom in and zoom out. This one only has a button that you can zoom out, so you kind of have to just press a couple buttons here to get back to the zoom that you want to be at. But if you miss it, you can't zoom back in. Not a huge issue, but something that I noticed that I was kind of annoyed with, that I kind of just wanted to press one button to go back instead of like 6 presses instead. Rerouting is pretty bad. I'll show you a clip here of me going the wrong way. It kind of just tells you to go back the way that you came. So it's not super helpful in that getting you back or rerouting you. In terms of rerouting, it seems that the Bolt V2 is telling me actual things. The IGS630 is just saying you're off course and then giving me random lines. Yeah, it just says basically go back where you came from. And then it shows you the GPS track, which is good. So that's not really something that I particularly like with this. Again, not a huge issue for me because usually I know generally the routes. Usually I build out a GPX for myself and then I know what the actual route is. But if somebody passes me that, or let's say, you know, I just trust the fact that, you know, somebody gives me a route and I know where I'm going and I just listen to everything. This isn't the best GPS bike computer if you're wanting just to upload it and not think about it. There are some better options out there. Also, I'm not super familiar with this company, so I don't know how well they keep up with the firmware updates, but I imagine because they, what I've seen is that they kind of use the same hardware and they just update, because there's a model of this that is just a bit better and it's supposed to have dual frequency, but it has all the same features and functionality. But yeah, that's one thing I'm not so sure about, and I haven't received any updates from this, and I believe this was originally manufactured in 2022. So could be just that it's 4 years or 2 years old, and you know, it's just not going to get too many updates from now moving forward. Those are my overall thoughts of the IGS630. It's a pretty good computer. Now, if you're looking for proper roads and maybe you don't know all of the road turns and what have you, you may want to go with something like a Hammerhead, Wahoo, or Garmin. Those are the American brands. If you're here, maybe if you're in another country, this might be a little bit better. But again, you know, there's a few things that I really like. I like the price, I like the screen size, and overall, I'm pretty happy with this. If I didn't have other options or I didn't have other items in a very similar price point, I'd probably go with this, especially because it has native integration with the Insta360 X4. I could just pop this on, hit the Insta360 X4, and then go back to it and put the stats on there. So that's something that I really like about this and was really hard for me to sort of pass on this one. So I won't be actually using this moving forward, but this is 2 weeks with the IGS630, and yeah, let me know your thoughts in the comments below, and we will see you in the next video. Thank you for watching.
Apparently I hooked on just in time. Was that close enough or not?
No, it was real close. Awesome.